What is up, podheads? Back with another episode of the Podioslave podcast. My name is Tony, joined as always by Anthony.
How we doing, Tony? How we doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I love that no one will hear it, but we just had an old school special redo the whole intro because I was out to lunch. So,
but yeah, we're good. It happens to all of us. It happened to me a couple weeks ago, right? I fucked up the intro. We had to restart it, and I was trying to come up with something new, and I got nothing. So then we're doing the same thing again. Sorry, guys. But we're excited. We had a great conversation coming for you here in a minute. Well, with the boys from The World is a Beautiful Place, and I Am No Longer Afraid to Die. And we're excited for everybody who checked out last week's episode with Dave of Fireworks. That was a blast, and it's done really well, and people are really, resonated with that convo. So it's been a lot of fun recently around the Podioslave headquarters.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I think I told you this, and I stand by it. That was one of my favorite conversations. I think that's a band that we just lived, and we say it a lot. We grew up when they grew up, as they grew up, and it reflects in the music and how we consume the music. It's just that band. I will forever be a Fireworks fanboy. So if you checked it out, I know they have a cult following. So if you checked it out, hopefully you felt the same way. But thank you, Dave. And thank you to everyone that listened to that one. And it's an exciting time because like that just happened. This conversation that we're going to talk about obviously it just happened, but we have a bunch more. How many do we have ready in the can? 4 or 5, maybe?
Yeah,
3 or 4?
We have at least 2 more interviews in the can, a couple things scheduled. Like it's gonna be a busy fall. We're gonna be good September for people. We're eating a little bit here. We're gonna have a lot of fun with the combos that are coming down the pike here for you. So stay tuned. If The World is your bag, there's more like that. If Fireworks is your bag, there's more like that. And if you like repeat guests, there's more of that. Like we got some stuff coming that's pretty exciting.
And if you like deep album deep dives, I think we have at least one recorded with no guests, just the 3 of us. We have another one planned, but we like to keep that pipeline full. So if you think of any albums that either we've talked about, but you want a full deep dive on, or you think, hey, even if it's an album you don't even think we know about, we've never done that. I would love to just deep dive an album that is new to us.
That'd be fun. Yeah. I mean, we could, the DMs are open, right? We hit us up. Let us know what you're thinking. If you're a fan of what we've been doing and would like us to give something that you love the treatment, let us know. We'll try to make it happen if we can. But this week we had The World Is. We had Chris. We had Anthony, and it was a really fun conversation. We're recording this probably a week after we talked to him, but the convo is great. Like we had a lot of fun talking with those guys about the new record it just dropped Friday. It's called Dreams of Being Dust. It's out on Epitaph, and it's out. It's a really good, different album for them, and they really kind of play with sounds, and it's a great headphones record. So if you haven't listened to it yet, go check it out. But this conversation's great.
Combo's great. I feel like we hit it off, and obviously, like you throw another Anthony in the mix. I mean, come on.
There can only be one, right? There are 3 of them.
Tony. We had the full Tony trilogy, but great convo. Kind of felt like we knew the guys. Like I think sometimes in these interviews, it takes a little while to get us going, rev up the engine. There was no revving. I feel like the engine was on right when we started. Yeah,
they noticed. I love when they see your backdrop of all the posters. Like, oh, is that a Rev poster back there? All right, that's cool. Let's talk about that for a second. You were wearing a With Honor shirt. Chris is living in Connecticut, and he knows those guys a little bit. So he's like, oh, anything for the With Honor shirt, I'm in. So yeah, it's been fun to have those conversations kick off like that from the jump. We don't have to do a lot of work, loosening people up and getting loose ourselves in those combos because nerd sees nerd, right?
Yeah, you just hit it off. You just hit it off from the get-go. And I know we're going to get to the album when we chat with these guys, but I do want to say this album, when I first listened to it, I was like, well, this doesn't sound like, The World Is tracks that I'm used to, but I think I might be into it more than the stuff I'd heard. It is unpredictable. It's chaotic. It's got melody. They are musicians through and through. And to be honest with you, I'm not blowing smoke. I don't know any other band that could pull this off or would have the balls to pull it off.
I love that they did it too.
Yeah,
they put out something different, and the start to the record is cool. Like explaining how they figured out the first song and the last song, and then did the map in between, and how everything was born. We get into all that. So it's a fun combo, and you'll really dig this record if you listen to anything that we've talked about in the past. I think you're going to dig this one too.
So with that, we are going to get into it. We got Chris, we got Anthony from The World Is. Great convo coming. All right, we got Anthony, we got Chris from The World Is on the podcast. How are we doing today, guys?
Good.
Great.
And we got another Anthony. Tony and I were joking about this.
Yeah.
So Anthony, are you a Tony or are you an Anthony?
I'm an Anthony.
Good
Nice.
Man. Yeah, Tony's. I don't mess with Tonys. You know, it's a different breed.
Well, I'm a Tony because I go by my middle name, so that's just to mess with people.
Yeah, whenever I like at work or whatever, they're like, "Are you a Tony or an Anthony?" I'm like, hard stance. I am an Anthony. Don't even think about Tony. But I don't think we've ever had an Anthony. Have we had another Anthony on the podcast?
Oh, probably in the 200 or so interviews we've done. I bet there's one back there.
Do you not go by Ant at all? We can't have like an Ant, Anthony, and Tony, like Ed and Eddie.
We had Anthony Davis, Ant. There you go.
That's right. I do go by Ant, and I go by Twan, which is short for Antoine too. So I'm all over the map.
Yeah, you'll hear me call him Twan every now and then.
I've never heard that for Anthony Twan, but that's cool.
Well, your bandmate Anthony's like pissed that that he knows you know about that because that's going to be his.
Call him Twan, yeah.
Yeah, Twan.
But we're happy that you're joining us today, and obviously, like the catalog, we're familiar with it. We've dug into it. New England roots, which I mean, we could probably just do an episode on New England roots. I assume I know you're Connecticut based, but you're both from there.
Anthony, don't you? He lives in Providence. I'm the only one in Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
At this point.
And I'm from New York.
Oh no. Okay. Well,
Should I go?
Maine,
Should I go?
So, no, you're good. You're good. Actually, honestly, a lot of my family, like 3 generations ago, is from the Brooklyn area. So long ways back. I have family in Staten Island still, so you're cool.
Well, you got that Red Sox hat, so.
Exactly. Yeah, I am a Sox fan, but I grew up in Maine. I mean, can you blame me?
Can't blame you. Can't blame you.
So, Chris, I know you've been with the band for quite a while, and Anthony, you touring with the band and then formally joined like a year ago. Is that about right?
I think I joined
2022, I think. Yeah. 2022 is when Anthony officially joined. Yeah. He had been touring with us since 2021 was the first tour.
Yeah.
For Illusory Walls.
Nice.
And he had been managing the band since 2018?
2018.
Nice.
Somewhere around there. Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't like it was a hard change to have Anthony join in because he'd been around for a while.
Yeah, it was like a pretty easy addition. Like it felt pretty fluid because he had already been touring with us. We all listened to the same bands and hung out for a while. It wasn't like, oh, he did one tour and then we were like, you're in, and we didn't know each other. It was like years of friendship.
Nice.
So,
we became friends, and it wasn't just like me just managing. From managing, we all just kind of became friends, and it felt natural.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if there was like a formal initiation process. Like, how'd that convo go down? It's like, Anthony, it's time. Like, you come up to the big leagues.
More or less, Chris asked me to join outside of the Woolly at Fest when Chris was gonna play Chris was gonna play guitar for Such Gold for a song, and we just had the conversation and asked if I just wanted to be in the band.
Yes. Yeah, it was outside the Woolly for sure. Yeah. It was. And Anthony had just played with us at Fest the day before, or that day. I forget what day our show was, but yeah, it was easy.
Yeah. So it was official at that point. It was already kind of in the works. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, well, we've been doing it. Let's just tie the knot.
Chris, you've been in the band for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I joined in 2011. My first tour with the band was taking photos and driving in the end of 2010, beginning of 2011. I think it was around, I did a tour with them around New Year's 2010, 11. So, yeah, it's been a second.
So you guys at 6 members. Is there like a wild group chat with you guys? Like 6 members, it's a solid amount. Is it too many?
There's definitely a few because there's we have a band chat, and then there's a chat with the band, all the band members, and then their partners, and then there's tour chats that's all the band members plus our merchant photo person or someone whoever's doing front of house, and then like a year or two ago, we even had a group chat with the whole band plus the
Shiloh.
opener of the tour, Shiloh.
Yeah.
Yep. We've had like various iterations that occasionally get revived every now and then.
That's amazing.
There's a lot.
You got to be careful who you're sending what to.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Anthony and I just text back and forth about the podcast, and we have a third host, Nate, and that text gets going too. And I can't keep those two straight half the time.
No,
So
I
the
can't.
the fact that you guys have all these going, man, damn, it's nuts.
Yeah. It's fun though. It's fun. Yeah. I can't complain.
And like every few months we'll have like conversations. Okay, band chat is just for like pertinent band info, and it'll go great for about a week, and then there'll be like 6 memes in a row.
6 memes,
and
and then someone's like, "Hey, so and so, can you meet up with me today?" And like, we're gonna hang out. And I'm like, "Dude, just text each other, please."
Right? Yeah, this does not need to be in the group. What are we doing here?
Yeah. Hey, I can't. Where are you at? And I'm like, this is like the band chat. Like everybody else is in a different state right now.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But it's funny. It's lovable. I can't hate it.
Of course, you've been with the band for every full length. When you joined, like, was there just EPs out, and were they touring, or where was the band at when you joined?
When I joined, let's see, there was a demo that was out, 2 EPs. So Formlessness and then Josh is Dead, which Josh is Dead, our drummer Steve was on, and that was his first thing with the band. And then our old guitarist Greg, that was his first thing with the band. And me, Greg, and Steve all played in a band called My Heart to Joy. And so I ended up joining World Is soon after them. And those were the only 2 things that were out, but they had recorded the majority of the split with Deer Leap that we had. It was a split LP. So I think it was like 4 songs by each band. And I played trumpet on like a couple tracks for that. Like when I joined, they were like pretty deep on recording that, and I came and added some stuff. But there really wasn't like the band had only formed in 2009, so like it was still pretty fresh. Like their first tour ever was only like, I don't know, like a year before I joined at most, like a short DIY thing. So they were just kind of like, the band was just kind of like figuring out even what might have worked in general. So it was still pretty new.
Yeah, still kind of formulating what you're going to be and what you're trying to put out there. Yeah.
It was still all really new. So and that was we started recording the first LP in summer of 2012. There was like a couple songs maybe written, sort of, like rather like a couple riffs. That's really it. So like when I joined, we really started writing the LP. And then I did the pre-production for it. Like I recorded all the demos for it, and then we went and recorded it for real. But I was there on the ground level, I guess, of that first LP, and
right on, yeah. So like obviously you have all these LPs, and Tony and I always joke about, like, with bands there's always like stair steps for their sound and whatnot. With you guys, it's obviously a big evolution and whatnot. In those early days, was there a crisp like, this is what it's going to be, or did you even talk about that?
I don't really think we like necessarily talked about it. I mean, we had an understanding of like our common ground, like the Venn diagram of everybody's taste and like what was in the center. Honestly, it was just kind of us jamming stuff out and seeing what worked. Like, obviously there was like a certain thing we were going for to a degree, but it wasn't like, I want this part to sound like Hey Mercedes or something, or whatever it is, or Explosions. It was just like, just kind of what happened. We were just kind of figuring it out. That first, and especially that first LP was like, really like, honestly, the recording of it was like a shit show of like, it was really disorganized. It was organized at first, and then it kind of just went off the rails because just still writing stuff as we were working on it, and then rewriting stuff. One of the songs, we cut one of the songs and then added one at the end. Like, we were just kind of figuring it out through that first LP. That was like, it's a big step. But doing an LP, the first LP for a band, is always a big step. I tell that to a lot of bands, because they'll be like, oh, I did an EP. That like say we did 3 or 4 songs, we can do an LP. And it's like a major stepping stone. Yeah, you had only 4 songs to worry about. Now you have 10 to 12. It's a whole new ball game.
Oh yeah.
It's a little more leniency on an EP for like everything. And during an LP, you start to notice things where you're like, oh, I'm really repeating the same thing on track 8 now. Like, damn it, I'm in a hole on writing, and it's just a huge step. So honestly, it was, yeah, really figuring it out through the course of the year of working, like year or so working on that record. And then like after that, I was like, I just have to produce this stuff because
Yeah.
I recorded some stuff for Whenever If Ever. There was a lot of guitar stuff we had to re-record. I recorded one of the songs for it that we added, all this stuff. And then after that, I was like, I just have to do this myself because I have a better handle on this. And it was a lot smoother after that, but it's like really fun to be able to experiment after that. It was like, let's just try new shit out. And yeah, that's, and obviously that led to like Harmlessness. It was like, oh, now there's a double LP.
Now we know exactly what we're doing. Let's throw out, a bunch of songs of people. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's a great point though about, especially with a newer band. And if you wear two hats, Chris, is the production side of things too, but not having ever done that, and now you have to be, you're responsible for coming up with 10 to 12 ideas and not repeating yourself and making it sound fresh and not being like, oh yeah, we're on track 7 and it's track 1 again. Like, we don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have more ideas. You gotta bring more to the table probably before you even get into the studio, right?
Yeah. And I think it's really good to overwrite stuff for like the studio. And I also like, to me, the studio is like also a place for creativity. It's not just like, oh, I need to lay down this guitar part exactly how I had it, and we had the EP Between Bodies, which was really experimental for us. Like, it's more spoken word. It's like, it's a little bit of a highly debated subject of like people that like us, like whether they like it or not. It was just, but that record, I think, is what helped lead to like Harmlessness, where there was a lot of experimentation on Between Bodies on like what we could achieve. And like, it was another stepping stone, and just trying to use the studio, I guess sounds corny, but like as an instrument, it's just like, what can I do? How do I say it? Between Bodies was a lot of like loops almost. Like, we would only play like certain stuff in short sections, and I would loop them. We kind of figure out the lengths of stuff, especially because we had the spoken word artist on it. We didn't know the exact lengths of stuff. So there was a lot of like in the studio figuring out how certain stuff would build or the length of it. And then once we got to Harmlessness, I was like really fluid with it, being able to do that stuff. But yeah, I enjoy the experimentation in the studio with the band and like just trying to figure out weird sounds or weird approaches to stuff. But yeah.
So Silver Bullet, that's your, you co in the studio. Are you, when you're working with bands, are you, and I got to assume the answer is yes, but are you like, you're learning things from certain bands, learning sounds, like getting ideas?
Yeah, definitely. It's always like, for me, it's like, I'm always getting exposed to like different points of view musically from bands and like certain influences by them, and whether it's like a younger band that's like telling me about stuff that's like starting to pop off now, and I might just not know about it because it's bands that are playing like small, like basement or hall shows, right? And I kind of see like certain trends that are happening from those bands, like showing me it, and I'll check it out. Or from older bands, like currently we've been working with two like older hardcore bands that I've always looked up to growing up. So it's really cool for me. But for example, like 100 Demons and Pale Horse are two bands that we've been working with at the studio, and I'll hear them talk about stuff.
I'm a big 100 Demons fan. So
hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 100 Demons. Oh man, yeah, I love them. So it's like it's really cool to be around even people from that era and hear what references they have, like what were they pulling from. Like I love to hear that and like where they're coming from, and even like, okay, with 100 Demons, they won't use they don't use like the term breakdown. Like a lot of bands later on would be like, oh, this is where we get to the breakdown. But they call it the bust, I guess.
Never heard
so
it.
like,
Never.
yeah, I didn't know. And it made sense to me as soon as I heard it. Like I heard them, they were talking about a part, and I was like, oh, this makes sense. But like, it's like a different era. It's like different terminology. But like, I don't know, just hearing that, or then like them talk about bands that influenced them, or shows they went to, all that stuff. It's cool. So when I'm around that, all these various things, and even younger, especially with younger bands too, it kind of just adds to it for me, and you learn different stuff, whether it's process, like recording process or ideas on how to approach stuff, writing, or just influences, like where people are coming from on a part. Like, hey, I'm influenced by this band. Oh, damn, I never listened to that band that's from the 90s that, came out with one record and broke up. Damn, never heard of it, but I'll check it out now. Turns out a year later, it influences a song I write or a band I work with. You know what I mean? It's
100%.
this ever evolving thing.
What about you, Anthony? You're out. You're doing the managing thing to start with the band, and then you're playing with the band. What are you pulling from when you're doing that? When you finally get in and now you're part of the creative process?
Musically, like, I mean, a lot of like 90s, like hardcore, early 2000s, a lot of Quicksand, Failure, weirdo bands like These Arms Are Snakes, City of Caterpillar, a lot of like anything like Dave Knudsen has been a part of, so like Botch and Minus the Bear. But I mean, I guess like the biggest thing for me, I mean, even like bands like Hope Swall, like that Satellite Years record definitely like influenced me, being like a New York kid, Mind Over Matter and Glassjaw, just weird angular approaches to like a familiar sound. I think that's like kind of, and that's also kind of where like Chris and I really intersect musically, is with stuff like that. Definitely like on the Quicksand and Failure and and Glassjaw type of thing.
Yeah, 100%, which I think had a good influence on this record.
Nice.
And I also feel like, Anthony, since you've worked with a lot of bands from the management, and you've also you've worked as like a tour manager for other bands. Like Anthony used to tech for like Dillinger Escape Plan. Like you've seen that other side of stuff too, like even logistically, Anthony, like helping put that stuff together, which I think is very critical for a band. Like, because everyone in a band like has a certain role or expertise to a degree, right? And I think also like your benefit in this stuff too is like you've seen other sides of like touring that like I haven't. When we're out on tour, like doing the record, there's things that more than I do, or like, I don't know, say like contractual stuff. Like I'm really like, I don't know about those types of things that well, right? But like, it's great that you have a reference point for even that end of it that a lot of bands don't, right?
Yeah, I think like it's definitely I mean, a lot of like what I learned early on was like working with Ben Wyman from Dillinger Escape Plan. We ran like a label management company together called Party Smasher Inc. And like he really like kind of gave me like a crash course over the course of like 5 or 6 years on like what the music industry like looks like, and how a band can like stretch a dollar and tour smart and not hard. And for like this band, it's I don't have trouble separating like the analytical side of like, is this good for us versus, oh, this will be cool to do, which it's nice to have like those lens. And once I like really actually joined the band, Chris and I have been kind of at the helm, like making those decisions together, rather than like me coming up with like a game plan and telling like the 5 of them. So it's less.
But I still look to you for advice.
Oh, yeah, it's just but like Chris is like astounding. I'll send him texts at random hours of the morning or night, just like, what do you think of this? Or like, it's nice to like be able, I think it's a little easier for me to make decisions like regarding the band and things that we do, because Chris was doing all of that prior. So I know like he can look at things objectively and not just like what's cool versus what's smart, and then finding like the middle ground of things to do, and like knowing that it's okay to say no to things, which I think a lot of bands, especially like starting out, don't know they can do. They think if they turn down a tour, they're never going to get another offer again, or they turn down, and whatever, that opportunity is not going to come back, which is not the case if you do it tactfully.
Yeah, or knowing when you're like, okay, how can I make this work? Like logistically, what do we have to do to make this one work? It's a little more difficult, but how do you do that?
Yeah.
Right.
It's funny, you rattle off all those bands and we love 90% of them. Tony and I have always joked that our musical Venn diagram, when you mirror it up, is probably Hum. So what you're trying to tell me is if this podcast was a band, we'd be you guys. We'd just be The World Is.
Yeah. It would be Tony and Anthony. I'd be Tony. I'll be Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, we love Hum. Yeah, it's like, it's funny. Like, I distinctly remember when I first was shown Hum from people in my old band, and like, I don't know, it's a band that stuck with me. And I remember I was like, this is cool, this is cool, this is fun, but like, it took me a second. I was like, oh, I like the metally part and say, for example, Stars. He has like the metally riff, and I was like watching a video, like probably 120 minutes or something.
The 120 minutes video is when I first saw what they looked like, and I was like, oh, people who look like me can write music like this. Like it's.
Or I think they were on Howard Stern too.
Dude, the Howard Stern thing. Yeah, I actually posted that on our TikTok and like a couple different social media things, like the clip from that, and it got like a huge response. And I still get like notifications on like TikTok and stuff, people commenting on it or reposting it, and I'm like, what the hell? It is an insane video. I only saw the Howard Stern one recently. It blew my mind, and like, yeah, the 120 minutes one, I was like, wait. You can write that riff and not look like you're in sick of it all or something. I don't know what it was, right? Like he had whatever that metal riff in the middle is. I was always like, what the hell is going on? This is crazy. Because it was so shoegazy.
I also think like they were able to come back in 2020 for one record just to kind of say we're still better than all the bands that try to sound like us, and then just dipped. Like,
yeah,
I've said it.
Yeah.
I think it's the best comeback record of all time. Like, for my money, it is
start to finish. Like,
we never left, and we still have it, and it's better than your shit, which you've tried to jack from.
It sounds incredible, and Matt Talbot's voice is just like haunting on that. Like, you know, with age, he kind of figured out what his voice like could really do, and like the melodies are so meandering and like gorgeous.
Hey, this could be my favorite interview ever. This is great, guys.
I know, right? We all agree. We all agree on all the stuff. I love it.
Yeah. It's funny. Yeah, I also would say that Hum is a bit of Hum. You know, Failure. Some of that stuff was definitely an influence on like Dreams of Being Dust for us. Some of the heavier, lower chord stuff, like songs on this. It really the touch point was kind of coming from those two bands. To a degree,
like the last Sunny Day Real Estate record, like Rising Tide,
that too
influence, because that's also, in my opinion, the best like Sunny Day record, production wise, songwriting wise. Jeremy Enoch figured it out as far as like his voice.
Yeah. It's funny, like when I was younger, a lot of my friends who were like emo snobs were like, that's not the Sunny Day record, it's Diary, and I was like, I hate to break it to you, but I think it's Rising Tide. Like it can transcend just like normal and emo, whatever. It's just like a sick record. I don't care what you want to classify it as.
That opening riff is probably my favorite opening riff of any record.
It's so good.
It's because they were on the Batman soundtrack. Everyone is like, nah, it's not OG. They sell us.
Yeah, that. What was it? Is it Faces in Disguise? Is that the song on Rising Tide? Am I thinking of that?
That's on Rising Tide.
Yeah. That I always thought that should have been in the Watchmen movie. Like they literally should have like whoever put together like the Watchmen movie trailer or like music in the movie in general, like messed up by not getting that song in the movie. Like it should have been in it.
You know what? They need to hire. There are people that are good at that job. Don't get me wrong, but they need to hire band member consultants for stuff like that. We know what would fit here, guys. Just ask us. Yeah.
I feel like I'm thinking of this because the Hatebreed poster that you have wasn't Hatebreed. Didn't they have a song in the Triple X movie with Vin Diesel?
Yeah,
the first one. Yeah.
That was my first exposure to Hatebreed. It was a snow day, I think, or I had a day off school. I was like, Mom, I want to go see Triple X, and she was like, fine. And just hearing that in the movie,
that and like Rammstein. There all kinds of heavy stuff in that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't say if the movie's good. I
It's not.
don't want to revisit it in any way to
I
know.
Will Be Heard
but
is on it. Confirmed. I Will Be Heard is on the Triple X soundtrack.
great choice. Yeah, whoever picked that, great choice, but horrible movie.
And like I said, there are people that do know what they're doing, but there should be more of that. That's probably somebody who was in a band that grew up with that and was like, yeah, we're gonna toss a Hatebreed song in here. Why not?
If anyone wants to hire me or Anthony, we'll put Hatebreed in any of your movies right now.
Love it. I fucking love it.
So Chris, you mentioned the new album. Let's get into it. Dreams of Being Dust. At the time that if you're listening to this, it's already out. So this conversation can be a companion. You can go listen to the album, get the backstory, all that stuff. I kind of like the timing of this, but we've listened to it. It's an album you have to fully experience. Like what did I say, Tony? It's unpredictable. It's chaotic. It's melodic. It takes left turns where maybe, traditionally bands would go right. I've found in headphones, it's a fucking out of the body experience. I was laying in bed and I was like, holy shit. Like
where am I? Where the fuck am I?
I've never heard anything like this. And I can truly say that. I've never heard anything collectively like this. It's not just a collection of songs. To me, it's like, it's something you have to consume. So we got a million questions for you guys, like on all this stuff, but where does it start? So you come off the last album, Illusory Walls, in what, 2021? Yeah. When does this start and how does it start?
22 or 23? Yeah.
So 2022 is when we wrote the first two songs, kind of, but they weren't even for the record. They were actually for a split with a heavier band. Let's just say that. And track one was the first track that we actually wrote out of those two. And at the time, it was basically like, oh, we're doing a split with a heavier band. Like, this is the excuse to do something stupid, like something heavier. Let's try to outdo them at it. Like, that would be funny. Because like we didn't have the LP in mind or anything because we're still fresh off that Illusory Walls. So it was basically like you can get away with a lot for like a couple songs on a split or an EP. So it was like, oh, if it starts with a blast beat and it's like we try to make it crazy, we just want to outdo the heavy band. So I think that sort of opened the floodgates on some stuff of the approach of this record that was basically like, oh, it's the fifth record. Like, usually we try to do what we want and not think like, what should we do? But especially when we wrote this first track, Dim Sun, it was truly like no intention of it being on an LP initially. So like, do whatever we want. I don't know. I want some ignorant palm mutes, like a blast beat to start it, weird noise stuff to happen, only so we can outdo a heavier band on a split.
I love this. This is awesome. And there's that breakdown teaser that's not a break. It doesn't go into a breakdown.
Oh yeah, it does the Russian circles thing is what I think of. Like, yeah. So
it's just a classic fake down.
Yeah, fake down. Oh my God, that's really funny. I've never heard that term. That's like, I'm gonna say that's coined here on this
100%
podcast on Podioslave, the fake down.
Anthony number 3 coined that, or maybe you're 1. I don't know.
Yeah, he's probably number 1 in this situation.
Anthony 1 coined it. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you would say it's number 1. Like if he's like the guest, so yeah, he gets first dibs. Yeah.
The last song on the record was also part of that split. That came together more in the studio than anywhere else. And
yeah,
from the first, so we recorded those 2 songs for the split. The split just wasn't happening. Just life gets in the way. The other band had other stuff going on, other tours. They had recorded but not finished, and I was getting like just a little frustrated. And it was getting at that point, we recorded those 2 songs in November of 23.
No, I was away in November of 23. It was before that.
It was okay.
It was like late spring, early summer, sometime in the summer, maybe sometime in the spring or summer of 23.
But yeah, we were on tour, and I just like asked Chris, like, can we just start, like, this is the first and last song of a record. and let's just forget the split for now and just start working on a record. We have a jumping off point now.
Yeah, that's like what set it off, because otherwise it's really daunting when you're like trying to like, you're like, oh, we have to write a new record. Like, where do you start? You know?
Yeah.
And I love that it like unintentionally started with like these split songs that once you see the through line, you have like your first and last tracks. You're like, we were like, that makes absolute sense. And it stayed that way all the way through the end. We had the through line. You just fill in the gaps. Okay, I have like my proof, like my like concept idea now. Okay, it can go, because honestly, at least because of track one, I know like it was like we could kind of do whatever on this, whatever sort of opens the floodgates to whatever we kind of want to do.
And I think like the last song kind of like it has, really heavy, moments like ISIS and stuff, but also really pretty. So like there was a good contrast between the two songs that kind of gave us like our barometer of like, this is, we can go this heavy, but we can also make it work with like things that are really pretty and like, so I think, it was a great jumping off point.
Yeah. And even I'd say the other thing that was influential of those two songs was the whole front end of the last track, like all the weird like drum machine elements, all these little things. Like to us, that was us trying to do something like in the realm of Aphex Twin or Radiohead, but we carried the idea of those layers over, like glitched out drum machine stuff, like hi-hat drum machine or other elements like that throughout the record in various spots. It's like a nice little change, but yeah, I was particularly proud on how the whole front end of that last track, For Those Who Outlive Us, came out even back originally. Like all those extra layers, that's actually from all those guitars and stuff. That's from the original recording. We added in some other stuff here and there, but like to other parts. But that whole front end of the song is actually like what we tracked originally. That's just like what it is. Even when we went in to do the full record, like we retracked the drums and like the bass, but like all those extra layers, that's literally how it was. And it's like all those extra layers are kind of how I submixed them when we were just tracking. I just did like a quick, like, here's some levels for these weird layers, and they kind of just stayed. I tried to redo it at one point and it sounded worse. And I just was like, I'm just using this stereo track that I made like 2 years ago.
Yeah. That's cool that you came into the process with, the start and the finish, and you had to figure out the map in between. We haven't heard that very often when talking to bands about new records. It's usually like, all right, yeah, we had some songs in pre-production, some ideas, but we weren't really sure what to do when we got in there. But you guys had a start point and end point. So you're coming up with the middle point, and you're like, nothing's off the table. Let's do everything. And I mean, that's why this is a great headphones record, is there's a lot here to digest. Every listen, you pick up something new. Does it start with riffs? Does it start with, other bells and whistles? How does that stuff start?
There's a few routes in which it's taken, but I think on this record, the main song ideas were coming together from either me or Anthony presenting like, hey, I have a chord progression or I have a part. Like, that's kind of how, all right, but we're the centrist. Anthony was like, what was it? It was like a 30-second Dropbox clip, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny, that was one of the last songs we wrote for the record. And it came together. That song literally came together in an hour and a half. It was literally at the end of the last like writing session that we had with the full band. As like let's just see what happens. And it's really funny. Like we were like, we want like a shorter song. And we by that point, we had a lot of restraint for trying to make shorter songs, which this would have been November of 2020 of last year, 24. Mm-hmm. We had to fill out gaps in the record of like songs. We needed some more songs. And that like week was crazy because everyone in the band except for Dave, our singer, couldn't be at the studio because I believe that's when his father passed away. I think that's around when his father was in the hospital.
Yeah.
His father was in the hospital, and
that was the week my mom passed away. That trip to the studio.
Crazy month. Yeah, Anthony's mom passed away. Dave's father passed away soon after, but was in the hospital for various stretches around then.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we were in the studio for about a week, just writing, just live tracking stuff, as we're going and trying to lay out song sketches and stuff. And it was really funny because it was really like a prolific week for us. That's when I think a lot of stuff clicked, when we were like, oh, we can write shorter songs. They can be more like just concise in general. And like, I think a major part of the sound of the record came together with that week. It's funny, it's so deep into the recording, but like it set a framework for, I think, even the future stuff for the band. Yeah, but Where the Centrist, for example, was like a short little clip. Anthony was like, I don't think you're going to like this. It's power chords. And it's because I'm usually like, I don't like basic stuff or something, like quote unquote basic stuff. And then I remember hearing it and I was like, that's like sick. Like, that's actually really cool. I think you were surprised. You really thought I was going to be like, that sucks.
So yeah, it was that, and then the song with Brendan from Counterparts is like, I showed you a sketch of that song as well, and I was like, these are two things you're absolutely gonna hate, but this is what, like, we were just
Love
like sitting in the control room looking at each other like, we need some ideas, and those were like just things I worked on that was in the never gonna make it to a World Is record folder.
But I actually liked them. And I think the rest of the band liked them because they were things that wouldn't make it to a World Is record normally. And this record is supposed to be World Is, but not World Is. Like things you might not expect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. That happened, with a few things. And I would present that week, like, hey, I have like a chord progression. I don't know where to go with it. Let's figure out a song structure, simple
No
stuff
Program
like that.
was like that as well. That was like a Last Day thing as well.
That's probably right.
You had like that opening riff and you just said like, think about Later Sunny Day, and then like that all like came together really quick as well.
Yeah, we all were jamming it for like 5 minutes at first, and it was like sounding really major, and it wasn't like sitting right. And like, I get it, everybody's just trying to find their bearings, right? Yeah, and I was just like, I was like, think Later Sunny Day, like weird key stuff. I don't even know, like that just like literally Steve like just it sounds crazy, but like Steve just like hit back into the song like 5 seconds later, and then everyone was like, oh yeah, I get it. And it literally just I was like, what the fuck? I could have just said this like 6 months ago, I guess. I didn't think.
Yeah.
I love that there's, in a literal sense, no rules. Like there's no rules. You guys you're the only people you're answering to. And obviously there's a label and there's fans. Like I don't want to discount that, but at the end of the day, it's you guys. And I know Tony and I try to adopt that. We don't answer to anyone. We do what we want. This is our thing. And I think a lot of fans, they kind of miss that. They miss the boat on that, where they think there's these rules and every album has to be related and there's a proper evolution. But no, like if you think that, you've been sold a bill of goods. Like everything in the history still exists. Like harmlessness still exists. If you want that, that exists. But for right now, this is it. And I love that. I love that because most bands fall into, we have to do this because of this.
Remake it. Yep.
Yeah.
I think the best example of that for Chris and I like is Cave In.
Mm-hmm. Oh
yeah,
yeah.
100%.
That band reinvents themselves every record.
And it's all rules.
All rules. Like Antenna is a perfect record. Like everything they do is, great. And I think the big thing, and same with us, like, Dim Sun sounds like a weird song instrumentally, but as soon as you put Dave on the song, it sounds like a World Is song. Like once he starts singing, it sounds like us. And I think that's the freedom that we realized is like, as long as Dave and Katie are singing on it, like it's gonna sound like us.
Yeah, 100%. And it's like the one scenario on this album that I was like trying to recreate something was, I was trying to do like a from Illusory Walls, Queen Sophie for President. I was trying to do like another post-punk kind of song and kind of failed miserably, but like it in turn, it just came out as a trip hop. We called it trip hop, but it's oubliette. And I was trying to like put together a post-punk, like loopy kind of drum machine-y, weird song, and then ended up with I guess we ended up with a track that in my mind is like a Massive Attack kind of song or something, which I love. We all love them, but it's funny, the one time on this record that I was like, I'm going to try to recreate something was like not the same anyways.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't, it's like, and that's cool. I was just like, oh, this is, yeah, fuck it. Whatever.
I love the line in that song, "Love is just lost before it happens." That hit me the first listen, the second listen. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, Dave is brilliant. I'll give him that. Dave's brilliant with that because I was really unsure of how the vocals might turn out for that one. I was like really nervous on that one. Just not for anyone. It's like not for anyone in particular, but I just didn't know. I was like, this one's like a lot different. Like, how will this go? You know, and I was like, yeah, once I heard him laying down his stuff on, I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I know he would get it, but like, all right.
Well, and you mentioned, once Dave comes on, Dim Sun, it sounds like a World Is song. That's got to be a cool place to be as a band where you can try all these new different things, but still be you. That doesn't come from a band that's put out their first EP and then an LP or even 2 LPs sometimes, right? To be in that position as a band that's awesome. I'm jealous of that. That's a cool place to be.
Yeah, and it's like it's at the end of the day, it's like we're making this stuff for us in a way. Like it's us trying to push ourselves musically, realistically. Like yes, there's tours and everything that have to follow, and people are like, "How many Spotify listeners do you have? What is this?" Right? But when you're putting together a record, it's really like, what can you do to push yourself and move the band forward, like artistically, just like in general at your craft, right? Like, there's certain bands where I don't want to hear something different, like Cannibal Corpse. I don't need like a shoegaze record from Cannibal Corpse. Like no one needs that. But like, or Hatebreed, like they have their thing, and that I want that for sure. They got the thing, but like, I think in general, like it's good to try new stuff, and it's still the band. It's still like us, and yeah, I think for a lot of bands, maybe on their first record, not necessarily us, but like for a lot of bands on their first record, they're like trying stuff is new to them, so they're trying new stuff, and then they feel like later on they're like, oh, I need to recreate that thing from 10 years ago or something, and it's like to me that's like, don't do that.
It rarely ever works, and a lot of times it's so noticeable. Trying to either recreate, there's a lot of it, trying to recreate the moment and dialing back the clock, and it's like, well, some bands can do it. Like Dead Guy did it perfect. Like do that, recreate that a million times. Other bands can't do it.
Yeah, I think it's really hard, and it's kind of, I mean, I've said this in a few other interviews over the years, but it's like, it's kind of like a snapshot into like what the band is like at that point, just let it be the thing. So yeah, trying to recreate the quote unquote magic that you might have had like on an old record is always risky, but also never been like a thing where I'm like, oh, I want to do that for World Is or any of us.
It's also tricky trying to do that because you had as much time as you wanted to write that first record. There was no pressure. So there's no there's very few circumstances where like you can have that freedom again. You don't have your life obligations, you don't have like whatever, and you could just touring, you could just sit and like write whatever you wanted because there was no previous like notion of what a band or artist sounds like. You had forever to write that first record, and that's why like the second record, the follow-up, is always, I think, like the hardest, is because the same expectation from outsiders is there for you to do what you did on the first one without like the consideration of the freedom that you had to write the first thing.
Yeah, and then you battle nostalgia. You're like battling people's nostalgia with something that for them is like a personal thing of, oh, I listened to this record with my friends when we were driving around and I was 16. It's like they're like 25 now, and you're like, you're not going to get that same experience either way, even if the song sounds the same. Yeah. So, it's always just like moving stuff forward, and just no need to have to recreate the same thing that would have happened. Like, it's cool. Like when we did Harmlessness, honestly, there was zero on that for a second record for us. There was no, I need to recreate anything from the first record. For us, it was literally like, what else can we do? And I think that's why they're so different from one another. It's like very different, even though it's like basically all the same people were on it. But it's like it's just like there was zero regard for like, I need to like a song that sounds like this other one because people liked it. That one did well. Let me write 4 of those. It was literally like, we're into some other stuff now. Like we did that record. That's great. I love it. What's this new stuff we've been listening to? Oh, this is new and exciting for me. I want to play stuff like this live. Cool. And even with the band, we're always like, oh, I want to play like the new stuff live. It's like new and exciting. And it's just like, I want to write new and exciting stuff.
I think if there's any takeaway for any band or person listening to this is just like what Chris said is, what else can I do? Not what did I do, but what else can we do? Like, I think that's the most important like headspace to be in when you're writing or creating anything.
That's a great point. I love that because you can play in the bigger sandbox. You don't have to be in the small one. There are other things you can do, and especially as you get older, have more influences, listen to new stuff, mature, find your voice. Maybe as a musician, you're gonna want to try new shit. Like I would hope that you would want to try new shit. And I know I always like trying listening to new music and finding new things that I maybe wouldn't have been into when I was 17 at 41, right? Like it's just the way of the world.
Yeah.
You should be doing that. You should hopefully be doing that as a musician, as a creator, period.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I even see is that a Dookie poster next to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Green Day, like they like changed their sound throughout their career as well. There's like certain eras I like, certain eras I don't. But like for even them, I'll give them credit because they're seemingly they're just like, we're just gonna do whatever record we want, right? Like it's cool. I mean, I honestly, we don't have to get in the weeds with this, but I prefer Insomniac to Dookie. Almost because they were so pissed off from people being, it seemed like they were pissed off from people being like, you're sellouts. And they were like, fuck it.
Yeah,
all right, here's a more punk record. We're just going to do this.
I'm right there with you. This is, my wife got me this. It's
a cool poster and Dookie's cool.
It's one of the first records I ever owned. I think it's the 3rd record I owned. So I was like, I have to pay homage to that in the studio here behind me. So.
Yeah. It's sick.
So we want to hit the tour dates you have coming up. And this is, we've only asked this a few times, but it's like so appropriate with you guys. What are you excited to play? And I know it's such a generic question, but with this album, those songs are going to be wild live. Like, what are you excited to play from this?
Or how are you going to pull them off?
I think, so in the UK in May, were we there in May? We were there at some point.
We were in Europe in May.
Oh yeah, Europe in May. We got to play a handful of new songs live, which was definitely like a big swing. And I'm excited because this is the first World Is record where we could take a support tour and have time to play almost the whole thing. So I'm excited to just play every song on the record because I mean the only times that we've done that was for like album plays for Whenever or for Harmlessness. Even Illusory Walls, like we attempted, but it just didn't.
Yeah,
it couldn't happen because the back half took up a headlining set's worth of like time.
Yeah, 72-minute album. So
right.
Short answer, I'm excited to play every single song off this record.
Love it.
Same. Yeah, it's funny because usually on records it's like, oh, I'm stoked on like these 3. I like the other ones, but like I think live these 2 are gonna come across well or something. But like I feel like all of it I'm like stoked on, which sounds like a cop out of an answer, but like I don't know, I feel strongly about the record. So it's like,
not if you're excited about it.
Yeah, there's very few there's no songs on this record where I'm like, oh, this is a filler song or whatever. Like I've had that in other bands I've been in where we've had to deliver a record and like just hobbled something together for a song that we had no intention of ever playing. Where I think everyone in this band wants to play every song on the record, and we're going to.
Yeah, the really funny element to me with this is Haptagon, we played that in Europe, and it's like probably the hardest song. It's like one of the hardest, if not the hardest songs to figure out, but it's really funny because everybody really wanted to play it, and I was like, you want to play that one? Why? Like, I like that one, but like, that's the choice. All right, sure.
Yeah.
But like, it was just really funny. But I feel like with the new ones, I felt they, I don't know. I felt like they sounded even better live than I thought. Like, I don't know how to say it. Like, it just literally, like, it really clicked well. And I will say that the last show of our Europe run in May, we were playing Beware the Centrist, and I snapped my guitar headstock. So I'm a little afraid of trying to not do that again.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, it wasn't even like out of rage. I was like just like playing, and it's like a fun song to play, and I like was throwing my guitar around, and next thing I know, the headstock popped off, and Reverend was kind enough to fix it for me. They were very sweet about it and awesome. But it's funny, my initial thought of like learning stuff for this tour was like, all right, I can't break another guitar. I don't want to break this guitar again. I gotta, but yeah, I think our live set also has gotten more energetic over the past few years, which is like gotten a lot more. It's just like more fun in a way. Like, not that it wasn't fun, but now I'm like, oh shit, like it just like feels like it clicks even more. Like, we've been playing together so much now that we've learned a lot over the years. You like learn something from it. I always hate when a band say they've been around for a number of years, they like decline in like quality of their playing because they're like get kind of complacent and lazy with it. And you're like, man, I really wish I saw them when they were like in their early 20s because they were on fire. I think now it's like we're playing better live than we have before. Like, honestly, I truly think that, because I would be very quick to let us know if I thought that was the opposite case.
Yeah. Well, you're coming to our neck of the woods. You're playing Portland, Maine in September. So
yes, first time World has ever played in Maine, I believe. At least the first time I've ever played. I don't think World has ever played Maine. Somehow we've played like Czech Republic, Belgium, all this stuff, Brazil.
Hey, we're used to hearing this. Have you been everywhere but our place? Yeah, no, I know. No one likes to come up to our place. So this time of year is a good time of year to be here, but
yeah,
it's the venue's cool that you're playing. I think is that Aura, right, Tony?
Yeah.
Aura?
Yeah.
It's almost like people have described it as like a mini stadium. Like, there's balcony seating that's like almost right on top of you. So like you'll look up and there's people right there on all sides, like not behind you, but it's a cool venue.
Oh, that's cool.
It's modern. It's
been a bunch of different shit over the years, but it's final form now, and it's beautiful. Yeah.
People
nice,
show up. People come out for that.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm stoked. It's like I don't know how we haven't ever played Maine. It makes no sense.
It's okay. You're coming, so that's a good thing. There are other bands that still can say that. You guys will have played it in September, so.
I've vacationed in Wells. I've gone to the beach in Wells.
20 minutes from my house, man. Not far.
Nice. Yeah. So that's the most I know about Maine. Poland Spring, right? What it means to be from Maine.
Oh yeah, LL Bean too. Yep.
LL Bean's from Maine?
Yes, sir.
I swear to God, I would have put LL Bean as Vermont. I would be like, that is Burlington, Vermont.
Totally.
They would love to steal it, but it's ours.
Oh, that's wow. All right, LL Bean is Maine. All right. New perspective on LL Bean as a brand now.
Only like 20 minutes from the venue too, so if you've got time, you could drive up and check it out. It's open all like 24/7 for the most part. Yeah, it's always open.
LL Bean.
Yeah. They closed during the pandemic for the first time ever.
LL Bean is open 24/7.
Are they still, Anthony? They were forever.
I think they still are.
24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you believe that shit?
They might close on Christmas and Thanksgiving, and that might be it. But
of course.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get a kickback from this free ad.
This is a free ad for LL Bean.
I guess. Do they have the boot? There's like a big truck that looks like a. Yo, imagine hooking up a trailer and doing a tour with that. So you're driving around the LL Bean boot.
That would be
sick. Can we get a sponsorship? So our friend Andy, he runs a company called Green Vans that we rent from. Shout out to Green Vans, right? And I remember years ago, they got a sponsorship from GHS Strings, like to have like a wrap on one of their vans, and like the feeder would tour in that thing and stuff. What I'm trying to get is that LL Bean boot.
Yeah.
Like,
Was that the van that would run on vegetable oil?
Yeah, they used to.
They
used to have vans that ran on veg oil. I don't know. Did the GHS strings one run on it?
Yes. And then like the regulations for what vegetable oil you could use, because they would just tell bands to advance at like Chinese places and just be like, hey, we're gonna stop in, can we get some of your used oil? They'd strain it and put it in the van.
Yeah,
Yep.
Me Without You used to do that stuff too. Yeah, I remember that was a thing, and then it got the kibosh. Like
that went with the what was it, Feed the Tour, the Taco
Feed
Bell
the Beat.
Feed the Beat. Yeah, those are a thing of the past. We used to have it so good, guys.
We did, yeah.
There's also the
bean boot.
Chipotle, the bean boot. Yeah, there's a Chipotle scam where you call them and tell them you're like a band and you're like, I want a free burrito, and they'll do it sometimes.
Cool. Yeah, I got to jump off. Thank you guys so much.
It was a lot of fun. Thanks for joining us, Anthony.
Yeah, man, this is great.
Anthony won. This is Highlander. There can only be one. Well, two. There can only be two.
All right. Thanks so much, guys.
Later.
So yeah. So Chris, you hang out with us for a few more minutes?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Totally cool.
So Chris, you come at this from the both sides of it, right? You're creating it, but you're also on the engineering side of it, on the production side of it.
Yeah.
I know for me, as the person who edits most of our conversations, I'm sometimes thinking about that while we're talking to people, which I try not to be. I try to be present in the convo, but does that happen to you at all? Like, are you like, shit, this is going to be harder to, fix or put together?
I think I'm able to separate myself from it, and I've actually learned a lot as a player over the years. I've played on so many records. They're not even World Is records. Like, aside from World Is records, I've played on tons of other records, or just help people with their technique as I'm recording them, or we're working on songwriting and stuff. But I think that I try to look at it from the outside perspective as much as I can. But, thankfully, on this record especially, I had my studio partner, Greg Thomas, helping with the record a lot as well. And he took a big role on this record. He helped me out Illusory Walls, but like on this record, he took a lot bigger of a role. And like, it felt very fluid how that was coming together because of aside from anyone in the band, I thought he understood the band better than anyone could. And he had a lot of great ideas and helped us put together some of these songs pretty intricately. And I learned a lot even as a songwriter through that. And like, I'm very appreciative of it. If I didn't have him and his help on this record, it would have been a lot harder.
Right on.
Just with a lot of the things we were trying to achieve. And I thank him like a lot for all of his guidance and help on it. He's much better than me on some of the reworking some of the melodies and stuff. Like he has a really good handle on it that was super helpful on all of this. But like, I think, yeah, just like on other stuff as like, as a player and everything, like I used to be really nervous, like to like play on records or something, right? I was like really shy about it. But now it's like, it used to be like, I would do some of the rhythm guitar stuff, but it was a lot of like lead stuff or extra layers, a lot of extra flourishes on the records. And then it was like, oh, now I'm basically like a mainly rhythm guitarist in the band. But that's like fun to me. It's like a whole thing that I didn't do much as a kid. When I was a kid, I was like a Kirk Hammett kid. So I was like into like leads. And now I'm like, oh, James Hetfield's cool. Like the riffs, I like riffs now. Like I'm more into that. So it's like a whole other side. But yeah, because I work on so many other records, it's easy to, for the most part, to kind of separate myself and be like, am I overthinking this? Am I getting into the weeds? Okay, next task, And I even experienced some of this stuff with a band recently that I was tracking where they get ahead of themselves. We'd be working on one part and they'd be like, starting to ask me questions on parts for, say, another song. And I was like, one step at a time. We're working on the chorus of this song. We'll get to the other song stuff when we do, but like, this is how we're going to spiral and spend the rest of the day just figuring out something for another song when we have a task at hand. What's the thing we're doing? This chorus of one particular song, that first. One foot in front of the other, like each step, like, you know, if you stay calm through it and like just stay focused and have attention to detail.
Especially with so much going on with each song, you almost have to. I mean, that's how my brain works. It's like, you know,
Can
9
confirm
things
that,
half
yeah.
finished is nothing finished. So
Yeah, exactly.
let's keep it compartmentalized to some extent.
All right, so the record's out. Go check it out. It's been out since Friday. This is the Monday after. It's Dreams of Being Dust. That came out on Epitaph. We're stoked on it. We love everything you guys got here. It's been a lot of fun to dig into this and really dig into the conversation with you about the record. And then you get tour. You get the tour coming up. You're playing with Between the Buried and Me, and then going out with The Sky So Black, and then you're in the UK, and you're playing Fest too, right? So you're all over the place this fall.
Oh, yeah, and we're playing a fest called Damnation in the UK. That's like more like a metal fest. It's sick, though, that, like, say Napalm Death is on it. Like, because they come from, like, a more, like, punk hardcore realm of, like, really progressive ideas and stuff. But it's really funny to be playing, like, we're doing, like, this more prog-leaning tour. Then we're doing a headliner. But then we're doing fest, which is more, like, stuff in, say, punk realm, right? And then we're playing, like, a dominantly, like, heavier metal fest in the UK.
Not many bands can do that range, Chris. Not many.
I know, yeah, it's crazy. It's really crazy. It's funny. It all makes sense to me, but it's also like I understand how ridiculous some of it is in a way, but it's great. It's like I love it though because it also like speaks to like how diverse our catalog is. Like we can fit in all these different realms, and I'm like thankful for that because there's so many bands where you'd be like, oh, I could only see them on like this certain festival. Like there's no way they would be on a certain thing, right? Like, so I like being able to go between all these different kind of scenes. It's all stuff I love, you know, it's just as a general music lover.
It's probably stuff that you all love. So you're not only getting your stuff out there to people that it's going to resonate with, but you're watching other bands that you like. So
yeah, absolutely. It's just, I dig it. So it's like, it's just fulfilling. Let's just say that, right?
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, plenty of chances to check out The World Is this fall, and if you haven't checked the record, we strongly urge you to go do that right now. Chris, this was awesome, man, and thanks to Anthony too, who had to jet off a little early, but this is a great combo.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, anytime, especially we got the With Honor shirt going hard. So Connecticut hardcore, which I worked on one of their comeback record a couple years ago.
Nice,
that record's
awesome.
So, Boundless, yeah.
Yeah. Their guitarist, one of their guitarists lives up the street from me. Seriously, like 2 minutes up the street. He's a good friend of mine. He's actually an author. He's a full-time author. Their guitarist Jay Ost goes by the name T.W. Piperbrook.
Huh.
I had no idea.
No idea.
Yeah, he's a sci-fi, like a kind of sci-fi writer.
Damn.
He's got some really like successful books. It's his full-time gig as a writer, and now he's getting into making like short films and stuff. You should check it out. Like,
and he was in Ambitions too, right?
Yep.
Seen Ambitions? Yeah.
Oh, I love Ambitions. I have a framed Ambitions poster in my room.
Nice.
Greg, my studio partner Greg, did some stuff for Ambitions. He did that last LP and a couple other things with them. Yeah, they're like old friends of mine. Love them.
Connecticut's a small town, man, just like Maine.
Just like Maine.
Oh yeah, it's super small. Yeah, like even you have the Hatebreed poster up. Like I was just over my friend Sean's place. He played guitar in Hatebreed. I've been helping him with his home recording setup recently.
Nice.
So it's a small world.
Hell yeah, man. That's awesome. Well, maybe we'll see you in September.
Yes, that would be sick. Yeah, feel free to message us. We'll try to get you in or whatever. Like, it would be cool.
That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Hang out. Cool.
Sure.
All right, thanks for doing this.
Thank
you.
Later.
Thank you for listening to Podioslave. We are at Podioslave on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of the places that you can find us on social media. Facebook, Podioslave Podcast. YouTube, Podioslave Podcast there. Email us at podioslavepodcast@gmail.com. And hey, if you want to become a supporter, click on the link at the bottom of the episode and give us $1, give us $5. It keeps the lights on, keeps us going. We really appreciate that stuff. Thank you.